Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. I'm going to use some sports analogies real quick for you folks. You've got living legends out there. In football, you've got Mahomes. In baseball, you've got Ohtani. In basketball, you've got LeBron. In crime fiction, you've got Goldberg. Just one word. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got him today. Tod Goldberg's with us again today, folks. And I am pleased and honored to say that we have him today. This is the new book right here. It's called Only Way Out. And boy, is it a good one. Boy, is it a good one. Let me tell you a little bit about him first, and then we'll be on our way. Tod Goldberg is the New York Times bestselling author of 16 novels, including the Gangsterland Quartet, Gangsterland, a finalist for the Hammett Prize, Gangster Nation, The Low Desert, a Southwest Book of the Year, and Gangsters Don't Die, an Amazon Best Book of 2023 and a Southwest Book of the Year. Other works include The House of Secrets, which he co-authored with Brad Meltzer, Living Dead Girl, a finalist for the Los Angeles Times Book Prize, and of course you know him from the Burn Notice series. His short fiction and essays have been anthologized in Best American Mystery and Suspense and Best American Essays, and appear regularly in the Los Angeles Times, USA Today, and Alta. Tod is a professor of creative writing at the University of California, Riverside, where he founded and directs the low residency MFA program in creative writing and writing for the performing arts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to True Crime Tuesday, Tod Goldberg. Sir, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. After hearing my bio, I am pretty impressed.
Boy, you're impressed. I'm impressed. Boy,
I must get up very early to get all the video games in also.
That's right. What are you playing these days?
Well, as a frumpy middle-aged man, which I think you can, the viewers will see, at least, I play all the sports games because I'm incapable of actually going out there and competing anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big Madden guy. I'm a big NBA 2K guy. Mm-hmm. Like the perfect day for me would be to wake up, drink 10,000 gallons of coffee, not bathe, and play Madden until my wife shakes me and says, like, what are you doing? You're not 14. What are you doing? Are you on gummies? I'm like, oh, I forgot the gummies. I should have a gummy.
Because that definitely gets you a great season in Madden when you're on the gummies. I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you want to look, I'm a Raiders fan, as you know, mm-hmm. and if you want to feel success in the silver and black, the only way to do it is to take legal gummies in the state of California, play the Raiders on franchise mode for 18 hours in one day, and at the end you get to hoist the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi, and that's a full great day as a middle-aged man with no children.
Either that, or you'll definitely play like the Raiders on gummies, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, those are your options.
We could talk football all day, I'm sure. Although I don't want to talk about my Vikings today. I really don't, especially after that Seattle game. Anyways, yeah. Boy, it was a weekend, Tod. It was a weekend.
It was a weekend, in fact.
It was a weekend, in fact. We can talk Only Way Out, though. Boy, you've done it again, Tod. You really have.
Thank you.
This book was I got to tell you, there's a quote on the front of this book from Stephen Graham Jones, and it's earned. He says there's an inheritor of Elmore Leonard, and it's Tod Goldberg. And boy, is he right.
That makes me feel so good. And, Stephen is an old, good friend of mine, not prone to lying. So I'm going to start adding that to all things, that I am, in fact, the inheritor to Elmore Leonard. And I'd like some of the money. I'd like the film rights. I'd like the film rights, and I'd like some of the money.
I don't blame you.
But it's always so cool to be compared favorably to your heroes. And the truth is, of course, that writers like Elmore Leonard and Donald Westlake, those were the guys that I read growing up, and they made it possible for me to write the kinds of books that I write. I don't write books about heroes. I write books about bad guys. Yeah. And the notion of sort of empathetic bad people that you could follow around and watch them, dupe law enforcement, didn't really exist in a popular way. Like the pulps did it, of course, the gold medal era and whatnot. But it was really Leonard and Westlake and, of course, Carl Hyacin. And then later, a hero of mine who just passed away 2 days ago, Daniel Drell, who were able to write about people on the edges of criminality and make them heroic, and well, not heroic, but make them at least the protagonist of a story. And so being compared in any favorable way to writers like that is a thrill and an honor.
You've got some complex characters in this book, my friend, and you've got a story here that keeps you on the edge of your seat. I mean, it really does. And again, I'm gonna depend on you to see how deep we can weave into this, because although it's complex, it's one of those ones that by the time you get about halfway to 3/4 of the way through this, you go, as far as our villain goes, you go, he did not do that. Right?
Yes.
There's a twist in here that you go, he did not do that. The depths of depravity that this villain goes to, that you just go,
yeah,
that is sick.
Right? Well, here's the great thing about writing vainglorious dopes, as I have with the antagonist in this. So the antagonist in this book, he actually starts the book off. You start in his point of view, and he's this corrupt small town cop named Jack Biddle, who is getting high on the top of a mountain that's basically sort of a quasi Donner's Pass that I've created my own lore for. And he sees a van go off the side of the road, and inside the van he finds a dead man and a bunch of stolen loot. And it turns out our corrupt cop owes a bunch of money. And so he does what any good corrupt cop does, which is he steals all of the money, and then he also takes the body. And I won't tell everyone what he does with the body, but what I will reveal is I wanted him to be so bizarrely corrupt and so pitiful and sad that at some point you find yourself thinking, oh, did he actually commit any crimes per se? Like, what did he really do? I mean, what would you do in a situation like this? Right. Because he's stolen the body of a criminal and stolen the stolen stuff that he stole.
Right.
So to write a character like Jack Biddle and have him be comic, but also malevolent, but also sad and pitiful and wanting just to be friends with people, to me, that's sort of a uniquely human approach to writing bad guys. Like, I don't want to write Bond villains, that are petting a white cat and I will take over the world, Mr. Bond. It's like, who wants to take over the world? Like, oh God, the pressure. Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of, kings of small spaces, and that's him. That's really Jack Biddle.
And what's fun about Jack Biddle is as you get deeper into the book, and I'm not giving too much away here, but you do find out he's just like everybody else. He's been bullied. Right. He's had his moments where, you could say, you know what, I've been in that space too at one time, but I happen to make better choices. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack is a character ruled by bad choices. Every opportunity to do the right thing, he does the wrong thing. But the problem is he views his wrong choices as the right choices. And we all know people like this. I mean, they're often our siblings or our spouses or our best friend. I've got a really good friend named Jim, Jim, if you're listening, I apologize. I've got a really good friend named Jim, who one of the smartest guys I've ever known. And, he has always existed on this sort of line between great businessman and going to go to prison. And so, like, for a little while, he was running a casino in Cambodia. And then, like, the DOJ came looking at him. And then he was running a casino in Laos. And then, his wife left him. It's like, all this stuff. And he's always sort of like, always looking for a line. Here's another great thing. He owned a strip club in Portland in the in the late 1990s and early 2000s, and his first wife had left him, and I went up there to go spend some time with him because I thought he was going to kill himself. Ooh. And so I stayed with him on the floor of his crappy apartment after his wife left him for like 2 weeks. And there was one day at the strip club where his DJ didn't show up, and he was like, "Todd, I need you to DJ." And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Whoa.
He's like, "I need you to DJ here at the strip club. You're funny." And I was like, "Well, I'm funny, but I'm not enough funny. I am playing music around naked women and the men that are paying them." But just working in the strip club for a couple days as his DJ, which was probably a book in and of itself, it's like, oh, every day he's coming into jeopardy with some level of criminality. And that really, like, his constant adrenaline rush of being in the proximity to badness influenced writing a guy like Jack Biddle.
And it's what's funny. I can see that, now that you mention that, I can see that you talk about Jack Biddle and how, he's just, 6 degrees of separation away from really being the town mob boss, but
right.
But he's not, he's not, but he's in that proximity and he could call in a favor at any time if he wanted to, but he's got to stay just this side of the law. Yeah.
He's on just that side of the law. And, once you get sort of deeper into the book and you find out like how he became this guy, and, his father was the chief of police and his grandfather was the chief of police and his wife is the mayor. And, he starts imagining himself as both the greatest criminal mind and the greatest superhero of his time, half Superman, half Lex Luthor. And, so in California where I live, there's a guy who's running for governor, who is the sheriff of Riverside County, which is where I live. Mm-hmm. I live in Palm Springs, and Riverside County is a sort of a large metropolitan area. And this guy's name is Chad Bianco, and he's running for governor of California. He wears a big cowboy hat. He's got a big bushy mustache, and he always wears his sheriff's uniform wherever he goes. And, he's like an oath keeper, and, he's not going to become the governor of California. It's like, we all know that. But because there's 11 different people that have announced their candidacy, he's polling at like 13%. And so it's like front runner Chad Bianco. And he's like got all these ads. I'm going to be the next governor. It's like, you're going to be at 13% the entire time. Yeah. There's never going to be a time for this dude who's the definition of all hat. You're never going to be governor. Right. You're never going to be president. You'll be lucky to stay sheriff. But I love these guys who, because they are in charge of this little small area, they have a little bit of power. They've got a little bit of media savvy. They think, oh, well, clearly I'm extraordinarily powerful across all realms. And so like that guy also sort of influenced when I was writing a character like Jack of, the delusion that power gives is that power persists beyond the margins of your own life. And very rarely is that true unless, say, you're a world leader or the governor of California, for instance.
Right. Well, isn't it that overreach, though, Todd, that if you don't take that swing, you're never going to advance?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you don't know until you try, right?
You don't know until you try. Exactly. And, Jack thinks he's a hero and everyone else thinks he's a fool. Mm-hmm. And, that's actually not a bad combination to succeed in public office.
It really isn't, right? Right? I mean, it's you're a fool until you get a gang of fools to believe in what you're selling, right?
Yeah, until you get tanks and planes.
That's right. Then you're a world leader.
Then you're a world leader.
That's right. That's right. And that's kind of the name of the game, right? Until you get people to buy what you're selling, you're a fool, and then you're an authority after that.
Well, what's funny is I once heard Bruce Springsteen talking. Well, I've heard Bruce Springsteen a lot, but I've heard him talk less. But he was talking about how if records hadn't started to get made, if radio didn't exist and all this, that he would just be a guy on the back of a push cart screaming to a carnival. He'd be a carnival barker.
Yep.
Like no matter what era he was in, he was going to be that guy standing in front of an audience trying to say his thoughts on things.
Yep.
It just so happened that he got to do it with a guitar. And I think that's true. That there's something in those of us that want to be out in front that persists no matter what the form is. I mean, it's sort of like what Stephen Sondheim said, which is content dictates form,
Yeah.
And so with
absolutely.
Springsteen, he wanted, his content was song. There's, expressive poetry, and the form took on the form of song. Me, my content is, I believe we're in a long Ponzi scheme. And so my form is the crime novel.
Well, and a perfect one at that. I mean, you tell these wonderful stories that hit home with people, right? I mean, they
thank
hit
you. I appreciate that.
Right to the heart of people, and they understand these characters because either they see something in themselves that reflect, or they see something in their neighbors that reflect that scare them. And they say, you know what? I know that person. And it hits home with them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you never know people until you know them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors. My office, where I'm sitting right now, I look out onto the houses across the street from mine. And so I sit here, most days typing, staring out the window, and I have elaborate fantasies about what each person on my street's life is like.
Yes, yeah.
Often just based on their Christmas decorations. I was like, you like this? You're going to put those up? All right.
Although I think we all do that, though, right? I think we all kind of look out at our neighbors and go, really? Is that, But then I think, too, some of us actually go out and we kind of talk to them a little bit to kind of gauge, what kind of person is this person? Not enough to where we get intimately involved, but enough to where we kind of get an idea, right? Just kind of an idea as to what kind of person they may be.
Well, see, this is the thing, Tim. This is important. So my wife and I, we don't have kids, and I'm in the house a lot, so I'm probably like the weird neighbor that then people see on the news sometimes, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize the novelist was living on the street. But what we've done, and this is a protection scheme, this is important for listeners that don't have kids and don't want to be vandalized. We are the full-size house at Halloween. So the kids always know, like, oh, those weird people at the end of the block, that weird man who's in basketball shorts and a hoodie all day and comes out and stares at the mountain. He's got the full-size Reese's. Yep. How bad could he be?
That's right. The other thing is always donate to the high school sports when they come around.
Always.
Yep.
Always. Yep. There was one day the neighbor kids across the way threw their football over our house, and I was like, oh, I got the football. And I was like, I wonder if they'll ask me if I want to play catch, because I would play catch. And Wendy, my lovely wife, was like, just give them back to them. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Just give him back the ball. Yeah. Don't.
Just give him back. Don't make it weird.
Yeah. Don't have the field of dreams vision. Don't. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's not the deal. Yeah. Yeah.
Not the deal. Yeah. Not the deal.
Yeah. Not
so I'm the weird neighbor, it turns out. That's the problem.
Well, but the key is to not make it as weird as you want to make it. Right.
That's absolutely true. I'll tell you a funny story. This was a million years ago. This was, my wife and I just moved in together. So it's like 1996. And we were fresh out of college and living in Los Angeles in an apartment building where two of the other people that lived in the apartment building had been on The Real World. So Puck, he lived in the building next door. Puck from The Real World was in one building. And then David, who had been kicked off the LA show, lived in our building. But one of our neighbors, like, there was this terrible smell that I now understand is death that was coming from his apartment. And there used to be a woman that lived there, and then she wasn't there, and there was this terrible smell coming out of the apartment. And one day he asked to borrow our vacuum. And I was like, okay. And so I give him the vacuum, and he keeps the vacuum for like 2 weeks. And the smell was getting worse. And I was like, I wonder if there's some sort of crime situation that I could be implicated in. This is long before I was a crime novelist. I was like, And so I knock on the door one day, and I was like, hey, and he opens it just a crack. I was like, hey, can I get my vacuum back? And he's like, oh, yeah. he sort of slides the vacuum back out, and then he says, "You got any milk?" And I said, "No, I've got beer." He's like, "I'll take beer."
Weird.
And so I was like, I'm gonna give him beer so he doesn't kill me. I gave him beer, and the next day he was gone.
Really?
I have no idea what actually happened, but it smelled like death in there. He had my vacuum for 2 weeks. And I think about that neighbor on a somewhat regular basis.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah. It was a lot. Maybe I should, I was 25. I probably should have called the cops, but
maybe
I was 25. I'm sure I had illegal things in my own home.
Probably, but it's what they say: snitches get stitches. So you probably did the right thing, right?
It's a good point. A good friend of mine, Rob Roberge, who's also a writer, he lives up in the high desert, and he splits his time between the high desert and Chicago. And his neighbor called him one day and said, "Hey, man, I saw a bunch of people were robbing your house out here." But I got their license plate. And Rob's like, "Did you call the cops?" He's like, "Oh, no, I'm not calling the cops. I got warrants." And Rob's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" He's like, "Well, find them in the streets." And Rob's like, "I'm going to find them on the streets?" He's like, "Yeah, but also you can't give the cops the information because they'll want to know where you got it from. So, yeah, like the only recourse really is to handle it on the streets." And Rob's like, "This is great."
So what your neighbors, just like supposed to arm up and go find them?
This is the high desert. It's the Wild West out there.
Wow.
So this is how I became like this, is what I'm telling you, Tim.
I see the origin story right in front of me. That's kind of interesting. That's interesting indeed. Huh. Well, with that, I think maybe we should take a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Robert Greene, about his sister Penny, and how they are involved in the story, and then Mitch Diamond, who's an interesting character, who sounds like he'd have to arm up in order to get his stuff back. I'm sure, because I don't think he's the type who would have to call the cops. No, he would never call the cops. And as a matter of fact, he's involved with a law firm who's trying to get everybody's stuff back that was in the van that Robert Greene was in. Yes. Robert Greene was the one that Jack Biddle found on the side of the road. Arm up and go find your stuff. I don't think anyone's ever told me to do that in my life.
Because you live in pleasant society, Tim.
No,
you're not in the wild west of the high desert of California.
Actually, I live just right near Minneapolis, and I've been told a few times to go get my stuff, but I just waved it goodbye. I didn't.
You just assumed one of the Stinson brothers from the Replacements stole it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just assumed it was gone. I'm a lover, not a fighter, Todd. That's
yes, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I will tell you this though. There's a friend of mine who has done some time, and he told me that we think alike, and that's why he likes to read my books. And I was like, "Man, you and I, we don't think alike. You've done time." And he said, No. The difference is that," and I'll paraphrase him here. He said, "The difference is that you're a wimp." And I was like, "I am a wimp."
Yeah.
And he said, "The important thing for you, Todd, is never learn to fight."
That's good advice. I could think it up here. I could probably, I have a great imagination. I could probably, I would love to write comic books. I could probably think of 1,000 different violent ways to end somebody.
Right.
I just couldn't execute the move.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. See? As I've told many people before, I when I was in my early 30s, I think I was probably 30 or 31 at the time, I went to go get Rowdy Roddy Piper's autograph for his, he was signing his book, right, at the Mall of America. And at the time, I weighed much more than I weigh now. I was probably a good 360 pounds.
Oh my goodness! You're a big dude.
I was a big boy, right? And I had, I played football, and I was a big kid. And I go up to get the book signed, and he looks at me and he goes, "Whoa, brother!" And I go, "What?" And I look behind me. He goes, "No, you." And I go, "Me?" And he goes, "Yeah, you." And he goes, "You ever thought about getting into the business?" And my response to him was, "Oh no, Mr. Piper, I'm allergic to pain." Which I think was a bit of a disappointment to him, but he said, "Well, you really ought to consider it." He said, "Seriously, son, if you want to get into it, I would train you."
Oh, wow.
Roddy Piper himself wanted to train me. Again, my response to him was, "No, sir, Mr. Piper, I'm allergic to pain."
And he was just there chewing gum and kicking ass, and you didn't want to chew the gum nor kick the ass.
Yeah, let's just say his encouragement that day was a little more liquid than bubble gum. But yeah,
God.
Yeah, he was all set to want to train this kid. But
oh wow, this would be a whole different podcast.
It would be. I've done a wrestling podcast in the past. Yeah,
I remember this. Yes,
yeah,
I remember this.
Yeah, but again, Todd, I was the weenie in this situation, being allergic to pain. Otherwise, yeah, I might be a lot of brother in this podcast rather than what you're getting.
I've never trusted people who say brother a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say brother to my brother.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. I don't either. So, yeah. All right, with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk Robert Greene, we'll talk his sister Penny, and we'll talk Mitch Diamond. And this wonderful book right here, which I have right here, Only Way Out, which is out right now, and you can get it. We have a link in the description of this program, and we'll talk more with Tod Goldberg about Only Way Out and about Jack Biddle. Oh, Jack Biddle. What a villain. We'll talk more about Only Way Out when we come back next on the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the Best in True Crime Podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest, Tod Goldberg. This is the incredibly wonderful book right here, Only Way Out. It is available right now. We have a link in the description of this program. Todd, before the break, we were talking about what a weenie I am and the fact that I'm allergic to pain. We were also talking about the fact that we were going to talk about some of the wonderful characters that surround Jack Biddle, which is our villain in this case. Our villain and our police officer. Of this town. Robert Greene is the name of the lawyer, the failed lawyer that starts out our book, who decides that he's got a scheme that he's just going to one and done, pull a robbery, get away, and he's going to live large. But he's going to involve his sister Penny and their cousin Addie. They're going to get away. The way I understand it is they've got a boat, right? And they're going to. That's
correct. Yeah.
They're going to sail away. Life's going to be good, and they're going to. Is it rob this law firm?
So, I'll give you the genesis. Okay. Robert Greene is going to, and in fact does, heist 324 safe deposit boxes from a law firm. Now, I wasn't aware that law firms had safe deposit boxes.
I wasn't either.
And then I was talking to my nephew, who at the time was in law school, and he had summer associated at a couple places. And I was like, anything interesting about, where you've been working? And he's like, no, it's pretty standard. It's like a really old law firm. So it's blue collar, it's white collar, it's a little bit of everything. And I said, oh, okay. I was like, so there's nothing weird? He's like, well, there's an entire floor of safe deposit boxes. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, they're covered by attorney-client privilege, so the feds can't get into them. They're really starting to get popular because feds, they can get into your safe deposit box at a bank. And the private safe deposit boxes, they're getting raided by the FBI because cartels are putting money in them and things like that. So there's sort of a presumption of fraudulent behavior if you put your money in a private safe deposit box, like, in Beverly Hills or something. He's like, so yeah, they're getting really popular. And I was like, so I'm sorry, what's in these boxes? And he's like, well, a guy in X band, he keeps his mother's ashes in his safe deposit box. And I was like, okay, that's bizarre. He's like, but everything's covered by attorney-client privilege, so I don't really, you don't really know what's in it, but there's one guy that keeps the inventory and handles it for each individual lawyer, and he knows. And I was like, so there's one guy who knows what's in every single safe deposit box? He's like, yeah. And I said, and who's he? He's like, Jeff? And I was like, Jeff. Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff knows what's in all of these. And so I said to my nephew, okay, so let's say I put in a stuffed animal into a safe deposit box. Can my lawyer unzip the stuffed animal and see that I've stuffed it filled with cocaine? And he said, no. And it was then, Tim, when I realized that my nephew had just given me about $1 million after I sold the film rights.
Right.
And so then I did a bunch of research, and it turns out this is getting more and more prevalent, but you see it a lot in like offshore places where people launder money, like in Gibraltar and places like that. You see a lot of these American law firms, these, these sort of big corporate law firms with billionaires and stuff, where they have all these safe deposit boxes in these offshore offices where people are essentially laundering their money. And so I just had this idea that if my Jeff, essentially, which is Robert Greene, was a failed lawyer, had never been able to pass the bar, had failed it 15 times, owed $500,000 in student loan debt, and he's got a prodigy younger sister. I basically wanted to write about two people with great expectations unmet. So Robert was going to be this great lawyer, and then his sister was the youngest person to ever go to MIT. She's 15 years old at MIT. And I just, I've always been fascinated by child prodigies because they always end up bad. No child prodigy is like, oh yeah, and that was Barack Obama. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
You only know about them because they fail and people go catch up with them. And so I wanted to write about a child prodigy who turned south pretty fast, and this failed lawyer, and their decision that, like, society and the world and the town that they grew up in of Granite Shores, all of it conspired to screw them, and that they're going to rob these other criminals and go live large in South America. So, a Butch and Sundance sort of situation, but with his sister, and involving their young cousin to stay landlocked and take part in what they had planned to be a long-term blackmailing scheme to get people back the stuff from their safe deposit boxes. So that was the plan of these people. And then Robert, unfortunately, crashes down the mountainside in front of Jack Biddle. And then eventually Penny gets arrested in a series of comedic events, goes to prison and comes out 15 years later and is looking for her money, essentially.
Right.
And so that's what gets Penny and Jack in each other's crosshairs. And then there's this ex-con, Mitch Diamond, who ends up being the fixer at this law firm that Robert had heisted. And he's looking for the money, too. And so there's a three-legged stool that is after all of this money, and only one person has it. And there's only one way out, and it's noir.
Hence the name of the book, Only Way Out, which, again, and Mitch is a bit of a mysterious guy, too.
Yeah.
He hints that his family life wasn't so good, right? That his father
Yes.
was a bit of a abusive man. That
Right.
that he learned how to that he was in Golden Gloves boxing, right? That he had a bit of a hard come up, right?
Yeah.
That he was,
he's one of those guys that also has been on the fine line of criminality, but usually over it.
yes,
And
yeah.
and Mitch Diamond isn't even his name. It's the name that we know him by in this book. But it's not, and you never learn his name in this book. You just know him as Mitch Diamond. And again, I'm always interested in these people that sort of come up hard and then get rewarded for their bad behavior by being hired by like a corporation to be in charge of their security. And you see this a lot with hackers, right? The world's best hacker has been hired by, Fort Knox or whatever to stop hackers. And you see this often with these like law firms and things like that. Often will hire fixers, and these fixers are not, paralegals. These are people that can solve a problem outside of the law. And the notion that Mitch Diamond has been spending the last 15 years sort of working for a law firm, fixing their problems, and then realizes that his time eventually is about to run out too. He can't keep hiding who he is, and he has to abscond. I love having characters who have to eventually face the consequences of their actions. No one ever gets off scot-free in my books. Everyone has to pay.
Yeah.
And, in a way, that's the history of noir,
Right.
is that chaos gets righted at in a noir novel. It doesn't always get righted for the good, but things are set back to normal, whatever that normal might be. And so Mitch is sort of a classic noir character, drives around in a big black caddy. He knows how to crack a safe. He's good with his hands. He's funny. He's probably smarter than the other people. A good friend of mine, the writer, Mark Haskell Smith, he once told me something about my own work that I wasn't really aware of, which is, he said, you write about people who think they're competent running into people who actually are competent. And I realized, I've literally built this house that I'm sitting in, and those books behind me, for those watching the video, on that notion of people believing they are better than they really are, and then coming into contact with the truth.
Yeah.
In some real way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly accurate. Yeah, that's exactly right down the alley. Yeah, yeah. The other part of this book that I absolutely love is that you've managed to work a couple of different things in here. One, this all centers around the fact that they've managed to take this event, this incredibly odd event of this robbery, and make it into a town festival, which,
right,
again, taking a real life event and blowing it sky high into something exaggerated, and they make it into a thing of tourism, which I think is funny. The other thing is that Addie has managed to monetize this thing into a podcast,
right,
which I think, again, is incredibly funny, that there's a true crime podcast she's managed to make money off her family. So is that kind of a forgive me for bringing this question up, but I have to here, Tod. Is that kind of a shot back at the industry in a little way?
It is a pure indictment of the true crime industrial complex. Yes. But, I'm a hypocrite, just like you are.
Sure. Sure.
I consume true crime on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to the podcasts at night. I'm watching the documentaries on Peacock or Hulu or whatever. It's always, they've discovered a body, desiccated on the outskirts of town. Any show that's on A&E and has Bill Curtis narrating it, it's like fall 1996, 20 miles outside Louisville, Kentucky. A body is found 3 a.m. I'm in. 100% I'm in.
Yeah.
I will watch all night long. But it's also, when you think about it, it's such a bizarre thing that we have gleaned entertainment from. And of course, the reasons that we do it are pretty easy to understand. And it goes back to what I just said, which is that the joy of true crime is that most of the time the crime is solved.
Yeah.
And it gives us a sense of the perception of justice, and the notion that you don't need revenge, that eventually the scales will be righted by science or a cop or whatever it might be. And when the pandemic was going on, which might have been one of the first times you and I talked, when the pandemic was going on, you saw this explosion of true crime. Mm-hmm. Because people felt powerless and chaotic, and that nothing that they were used to was true anymore. There's something outside that can kill you, and you don't know where it is. You don't know quite how you're going to get it, and you don't know if you're susceptible.
Right.
And then you're living in your house all day long, wondering what's going on with your neighbors, and then you can sit down and for 2 hours you can watch some true crime documentary on HBO Max or listen to something. And at the end of it, this chaotic, horrible thing that has happened is solved.
Yeah.
And it's the presumption that chaos ends. I think we all found very appealing during that time. it's now persisted, of course. It's bigger than it's ever been. But, it's sort of always been the case. And, the biggest influence really on the story that I'm telling of, this small town that defines itself by this crime and creates a festival behind it. And, there's like HGTV tours and, Guy Fieri's coming and doing a talk on local foods or whatever. Is the sort of the history of these things writ small, like DB Cooper or Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, or going to see Bonnie and Clyde's Shot Up Car, or even in a larger scale, the history of violence that we go and look at. So you go to New York and you go and you see the 9/11 shrine. You go to Gettysburg. You go to any Civil War battlefield. You go to Europe and you see the history of armed conflict. We are fascinated by places where horrible things have happened. Yeah. And we do nothing but commodify it. Nothing but commodify it. We always commodify it. Right. And so the idea of taking like a great heist, like a DB Cooper style heist, and turning it into a thing that makes a dying resort town have a reason for people to come to it, feels like a very natural extension of this. I mean, you see it a lot in Savannah. Have you ever been to Savannah, Georgia?
I have not. I have friends though that run ghost tours there.
Yeah. But there's the ghost tours. There's like three main things. There's the amazing food. Yep. There's the ghost tours, and there's the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil tourism. Yep. Oh, and also the Forrest Gump bench.
Yes. Yeah.
And so my wife and I went on vacation to Savannah a few years ago, and we had read Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. We saw the movie, we knew all the stuff. And it's like, oh, we're celebrating a horrible thing that happened. Like, we're walking in the steps of horrible things. Mm-hmm. We're like, oh, yeah, that's the house where the guy got murdered. And get a shirt over here. And, I'm going to go to Paula Dean's restaurant and call her racist. And then I'm going to... That's a new thing we do, is we just go, hey, you're racist, in case you didn't know. So turning the city of Granite Shores into, and it's a fictional city, I made it up, but turning it into the hub of sort of true crime tourism seemed like a natural extension of, even a place like Las Vegas, which I, of course, I've written a lot about. Las Vegas is a city built on crime. Like, you make a tacit agreement when you go to Vegas, you're going to get robbed. Mm-hmm. There's a mob museum in Las Vegas. Right. And so a small town becoming known for its criminal past seemed like a natural thing for me to explore. But yes, Tim, I'm making fun of and condemning you for what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well,
there's actually, I think is it Addie that actually says in there, it's something to the effect of, and it's I'm trying to remember what I'm going to paraphrase here, Todd. It's something to the effect of as she's having this one-on-one with Penny, and they're standing in the house where Penny grew up. She says something to the effect of, as Penny's kind of going at her for the podcast, and they're having a back and forth about the podcast. She says, maybe it's Penny going after Addie. I'm trying to remember what the dialogue is, but she says, you pretty much. She says, she had her theories about how this whole thing went down. Again, I'm not going to give too many spoilers here. But Addie says, I give him a theory one minute, and then, or is it Penny says you give him a theory?
Addie says that.
Addie says that. Yeah, it says I give him a theory 1 minute, and then I can give him something completely different the next, and then they're satiated, or something to that effect. Yeah. In other words, I can continue to give him
that she can have one conspiracy theory 1 week, another conspiracy theory on the other week, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Essentially. Yeah. Because people are going for the dopamine hit of that hour that they're listening, and then it just disappears. And so the next week there has to be something else to keep them coming for it. And there's a point. So Penny and Addie are having this conversation. Penny's returned to town, and she sees that Addie has turned her entire existence in her life into, rehashing this case, which you see a lot of. Like, there's a lot of these people that are involved in crimes that, have these podcasts and go over a lot. You see all these like ex-mobsters love a podcast. Ex-mobsters have like half the podcasts are guys that were low-level, street thugs talking about doing hits in New York in '76.
Yeah.
And, she's essentially saying, like, I went to prison to keep you safe from this. Like, you didn't have to do this. And Addie is just like, what I do every day, is what people would do without me, essentially. I'm making a living on the thing that people are interested in. It doesn't matter if it's true because it's ephemeral.
Right.
And I'm giving her better dialogue than I wrote for her there.
Right. But that essentially.
But that's essentially it. Like, she recognizes her own role in the economy of true crime.
Right. I guess when I read the line, to me it kind of makes me shirk a little bit, and the reason is this: I think a good podcast host will do this. They'll take somebody with different views and present it, but won't present it as their view. So like with me, I'll bring a guest on and say, okay, this is their view. They can present it. It's not my view. I won't ever say this is my view. And I'll put somebody up and present them as this is their view. I won't ever subscribe to a view and say this is my view.
Yeah, I mean, that's commonly called journalism.
Yeah. Exactly. But
I think that's always the better role, and it's always the thing I'm more interested in is, someone like yourself who says, like, here's this fascinating thing that happened. I'm going to talk to experts about it, and I'm going to let the listeners, try to piece it together. And that's how sort of like the history of true crime was, like, old Ann Rule books, or, even Truman Capote, though, of course, Capote fudged a lot of stuff, or my old friend, the late Joseph Wambaugh and the Onion Field, books like that, where you're getting the factual information and the guilt or the innocence of the people is mitigated in court often, but the decision making of the reader is more important. And you even think of a book like Executioner's Song, for instance, 700 pages of Executioner's Song, and all these bookshelves over here that are the history of American bad behavior. But that's the difference, is that a lot of true crime now, particularly the stuff that we listen to, is people being amateur detectives.
Yeah.
And that's because we all want to be detectives.
True. I'm of a mind that I'd rather bring on a guest who's done the research, let them present the case, and let them go through their paces and let the audience decide, right? I mean, why is it up to me to give my opinion every week?
Right. Well, you know what it is also, I think, and we talked about video games, in the first half of the show, but I think something has happened culturally where we don't want to view narrative. We want to be the narrative.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot in first-person shooter games, or even like, the sports games that I play or whatever, where it's not enough to, have a spaceship blow something up. You want to be at the controls of the spaceship blowing it up. And that's a real difference than how we used to consume reality. You were delivered things and that was that. Well, now everyone has access to all media. All of us can be reporters or critics or whatever we want. And so it gives us the supposition that we are just as smart and just as capable of solving every single crime as the cops might be. The fact is, turns out to be true a lot. These amateur genealogists who are, sussing out historical crimes using forensic data that 25 years ago might as well have been on the Starship Enterprise, is pretty amazing. Figuring stuff out just because of the DNA is changing the way we live, but it also changes the way I have to write books. You can't just leave stuff everywhere and think a person's not going to get caught. They're going to get caught. Familial DNA, that's a big thing that, of course, has changed the way we write. But all of this stuff comes from real people, not cops. And so that evens that playing field, I think. And I think it's always invariably there's going to be a grift in something like that.
Sure.
Which is good for me because that's the kind of stuff I like to write about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell you, Todd, we're coming to just about the end of our program here, but in the end of our hour, but I tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I don't want to give too much more away about it. I really don't. I just want to encourage people to go get the book because it's such an enthralling story. And we haven't even talked about any of the other villains in this book, but there really isn't a need to, I don't think, because it's one of those things.
No one's very nice.
Right. There's no one very nice, but you've created again another rich tapestry of characters that people can sink their teeth into. It's another. Again, another story where people are gonna, and again, it's a quick read. That's the thing I love about it is you get into it, you're enthralled with it, and I find myself after I've finished it wanting to know more. I want to get back into these characters and find out what happens again. The continuation. I want to know what happens to these characters after this initial story.
I don't know. I mean, I spent the last almost 15 years writing about one character in his life. So I'm feeling pretty good about not writing any sequels for a while.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the character of Mitch Diamond, he's existed in a couple things I've done before. So in the current Best American Mystery and Suspense Stories out now, edited by Don Winslow, there's a short story, part of which is in the book, but it's told in a different point of view, and it's not related to the book necessarily, but it's Mitch Diamond. And then I also wrote a short story of him that you guys can find on my website, todgoldberg.com, and also in a book called The Silver Waves of Summer, I think, is an anthology that Kelp Books put out called Summer of '86, about Mitch and his sister doing some nefarious things in Pajaro Dunes, California, back in the day.
Really? Okay.
So I've written about him a couple times.
You've written about him a couple times. Okay, good. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, then that's a good place to follow up. Well, again, folks, it's available right now. Only way up. Tod Goldberg. And I want you guys to go get it. We have a link in the description of this program. And again, good book. Gosh.
Thanks so much, Tim. I appreciate it.
All you do is you're like Ohtani, man. All you do is hit home runs in the clutch. That's all you do. I'm telling you.
Look, I can also steal some bases. Look, I have tremendous foot speed.
You could probably also pitch 9 flawless innings as well. But
yeah, but unfortunately he's a Dodger. Ugh.
Yeah, well, I know you don't like the reference that he's a Dodger, but hey.
I mean, before that he was an Angel. I can't think of two teams I hate more than Dodgers and Angels. I'm just saying the skill level is the same. Got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Look, I understand. I put your profession on blast, and now you have to hurt me. I understand how this works. Yeah,
you see how it's tit for tat here. You know what I mean, my friend? This is tit for tat. That's all. Tod Goldberg, thank you so much for being with us, my friend.
My pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much. Folks, it's time now for us to switch gears a little bit. It's time now for us to bring in Jessica Freeberg. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again, the time you've all been waiting for. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I shall seek out my co-hostess. I have a lot on my mind. I need my co-hostess for therapy this week. It's been a rough weekend. That's right, my Vikings were shut out in Seattle. They were scoreless in Seattle. I think that's a movie sequel of some sort. Yes, it was a rough weekend. It's a rough weekend. As you can see if you're watching video, I'm not even wearing a Vikings hoodie. I normally wear a Vikings hoodie. I put on a Minnesota Wild hoodie because they're the hottest team in the NHL right now. At least they can score. You know what I mean? Vikings. You see what I'm saying, Vikings? The Wild can score. They can put the biscuit in the basket. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what your problem is. This Speaking of somebody who, I was going to say, speaking of somebody who knows how to score, that doesn't sound right. But speaking of somebody who knows success, somebody who knows how to get things done, we speak now to the slayer of charts, the one who's brought the Hindustan Times chart makers to their knees. In fact, Babu, who is now taken over the charts over at the Hindustan Times, who said to me, "She shall not crush me, oh no. I've done nothing now but dedicate myself to these charts. She can release 8 books at one time for all I care." That's what Babu said. And I said, "Babu, don't wish that upon yourself. She'll do it. Don't challenge her. She'll do it." I said, "Babu, learn to eat, sleep, and do your business in one spot, my friend." Oh, there's 2026 coming, my friend. There's 2026. Babu's taking on the challenge, though. So I'll let our co-hostess know this today, that Babu is ready. Babu knows that the slayer of charts, eater of worlds, has been challenged. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. She's wonderful. She's friendly. She's lovely. She's effervescent. Slayer of charts, eater of worlds. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Jessica Freeberg. Hi, Jess.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Was there a double dog dare in that challenge?
Was.
Because,
yeah.
Well, it's on because I can't say no to that.
You can't. No.
Oh.
Wow. Do you have enough topics to fill 8 books this year?
8 books? I don't know. We got 3, that's for sure. I know that's happening.
Yeah, that we'll see.
4 was pretty aggressive.
4 is aggressive, yeah. Well, Babu's just got to strap in, I guess,
I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see if Babu can do it.
We'll see.
He can beat me.
We'll see. I don't know. Well, I just know there's a lot of sleepless nights happening at the Hindustan Times. That's all I know.
Really hard on those guys there, aren't I?
Yeah. That's okay. They can take it.
I don't mean to be.
You should be. Yeah. They got it coming.
Oh, gosh. Did we survive Thanksgiving?
I think we did.
Yeah, look at us. We're here.
We're here.
I think I'm a good 5 pounds heavier from all the potatoes and pies and.
I got to thank the good people at Manjaro. They I haven't had an appetite in over a year. So, yeah.
No.
1 plate of food. That was it. And that was a lot for me. That was a lot for me.
I was telling you before the show, though, my brain is like wired to be like, oh, there's leftover food. Like, we can't throw food away. There's children starving in Africa.
That's right.
This is such an 80s thing for us to think. And so I'm just eating all this food that I'm not even hungry for anymore.
Right. Although I
can't help myself.
I do sing "Do They Know It's Christmas After All" as I eat my Thanksgiving dinner. So, yeah.
As one should.
Yeah. Me and Bob Geldof are the only ones who do. But yeah, I managed to barely wolf down a plate of food, but it was very good food at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had just a tiny sliver after I had wolfed down my plate of food. I had a tiny sliver of dark meat, just one extra little sliver of dark meat, because I did remember those kids starving in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it for the children.
I did it for the children.
Good boy.
Yeah, I tried. And it was protein. So, it was no extra on the hips. What is it? An extra minute on the lips is an extra lifetime on the hips. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
I don't know. But, yeah.
It's sad. I try not to think about it.
I don't think about it either.
I'll go down and work out a little extra this week.
What's working out? I'm kidding. I don't know. But yeah, so I tried. I was good. And I did have, what's really hard in our family is my brother's birthday is much like yours.
Yes.
Right around Thanksgiving.
Mm.
So we get birthday cake with the pie.
Yes. And you know what? I told my husband, don't you bring that evil to this house this year. I do not want a birthday cake.
Don't you bring that evil to this house.
Yeah, he always gets me a giant, 3-layer red velvet. And I love red velvet cake, but I'm so full. I don't want a freaking cake. We can celebrate my half birthday or something. But yeah, no cake here for my birthday.
Why do I see you going like Sissy Spacek on the deal? Don't you bring that pox upon this home.
That's right. It's exactly it's like you were here.
Yeah, well, maybe in the bushes watching you eating red
And then my
velvet
son's
cake.
birthday is 2 days later. So it's like, oh my gosh, we're just like, I'm partied out, man.
Yeah, probably. But there's red velvet cake, so can't be that.
Nope.
No?
Nobody brought any.
What?
Because he was scared. I scared him.
What? No. You know what? I actually cussed my dad out this year for his selection of cake. It was horrible. I mean, it wasn't
Really?
horrible. There's no such thing as horrible cake. But you know what he got?
What'd he get?
He got... it makes me laugh because I went, what are you doing, old man? He got, and then we'll move on to dumb crime, stupid criminals here. But he got, okay, my little brother's a Timberwolves fan, and I understand last year because, you know, they went deep in the playoffs, right? But up until then, we used to make fun of him because it was kind of like he was kind of like the Rudolph of the Dennis tribe because, you know, his nose glowed bright and we all made fun of him because the Timberwolves used to be useless. But he got a Timberwolves cake, which, of course, has blue frosting on it. So whenever you eat it, you look like you blew a Smurf, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. But then it's my dad didn't bother to get the buttercream frosting. There's only one reason to eat cake, and it's buttercream frosting.
I agree 100%. So he got the whipped frosting.
Yes.
That doesn't even count as frosting.
It's not frosting.
This is the perfect introduction to dumb crime, stupid criminals. That is criminal.
That is, isn't it? And it's a dumb crime with that. Right? Why? What? Right? Why?
Yeah. I'm with you.
Why?
That's sad. And you're so disappointed because you take your first bite and your taste buds are like, wah, wah.
Yeah. It's the finish that never was. Right? It's just, it's horrible. So I was forced to eat, and it was a marble cake on top of it, which is the big indecision on top of the great indecision of frosting. So it was an undecided cake all the way around.
Oh, it's so sad. That's just sad all the way around.
So I'm glad there was pie because the cake was just kind of a meh. So the Timberwolves, who are having a terrible year in a terrible city, in a terrible town, and a terrible team on a terrible cake. It just was,
Well, at least she had a blue mouth.
Yes, and then I looked like I blew a Smurf on top of it. So then it's like, well, let's all take pictures. Why? So we look like we all ran a train on the Smurf Village. Why? So we could make Gargamel proud.
Did you all do Muppet smiles where you're like,
Yeah. But at least I got to see the great nephew. By the way, the great nephew is obsessed with football.
Really?
Not only, he's barely 2 months, and people say, well, he's not even 2 months old, Tim. I mean, he's just obsessed with the action and the shapes and no, this kid knows football. This kid
loves it.
Oh, he stops and then like if someone gets in front of him, he takes his hand and moves them. He's like, get out of my way of football right now because I'm watching. Yeah.
He's already like a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
He just needs a beer in his hand.
And then intern Yoko sat and tried to tell him how disappointed he's going to be a Vikings fan when he's older. And he let out that scream. Like, you remember the baby in I Get Delirious, the Prince song? You remember that? He let that scream out when she said, oh, you're going to be disappointed to be a Vikings fan. He went, like, are you kidding?
Wow.
Yeah, he tried to argue the point.
He already is a true Vikings fan then.
Oh, yeah. It's in his blood.
It's born in him. That's amazing.
It's born, yeah. And then he probably watched that horrible 26-0 loss on Sunday. And
depressing.
Yeah. So he's already got his taste of sheer defeat. So.
Yeah. Really sad.
Poor Bennett.
I love his name. I almost named Logan Bennett.
Did you?
Yeah, it's my mom's maiden name. I thought it would be such a cool first name.
Yeah. Poor
Cute.
baby. Yep. So I know no J.J. McCarthy jumper for that kid. Otherwise, he might jump off a building. Just saying.
Oh.
Horrible. All right, let's get to the stories here. Speaking of horrible things to tell children at Thanksgiving or horrible things to happen to a child at Thanksgiving, that's how we're going to start it off today.
Awesome.
Yeah, horrible Thanksgivings. Because maybe you didn't have the best Thanksgiving.
This will make you feel better.
This will make you feel better. I know, because if you thought of a place where you could have a horrible Thanksgiving, Jess, where would you go?
Florida?
Of course. That's where we're going to start off. A Florida woman is accused of attacking an estranged daughter stabbed by an 8-year-old girl protecting her mom.
Oh.
I know.
There's a lot happening in that sentence.
Did that sound like word jumbled to you too?
Yeah. Okay. Make it make sense, Tim.
Okay. Let me read the headline one more time because I'm a little confused after it. Florida woman accused of attacking estranged daughter stabbed by 8-year-old girl protecting her mom. Oh.
The lady got stabbed by the 8-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I got it. It just made sense in my brain.
Yeah. It's a CPS dream come true is what it is. It's a CPS miracle on Thanksgiving. We go to Orange Park, Florida, where an 8-year-old girl reportedly stabbed her grandmother with a kitchen knife to stop the woman from attacking her mother.
Oh, sad.
Someone's not getting a visit from Santa this year. Yeah. This, according to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, who evidently had to break this thing up. Deputies went to a disturbance call in the 600 block of Reese Avenue in the Oakleaf area of Clay County around 3 p.m. on Monday. According to the sheriff's office, the caller, later determined to be the victim, could be heard yelling for an individual to leave her home. Investigators said the victim's estranged biological mother, Serpil Adams, entered her daughter's home uninvited through an unlocked door and attacked the victim with a serrated knife. While trying to protect her mother, the victim's 8-year-old daughter grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed Adams in the upper arm. Good girl.
Wow. I mean, kind of.
Go protect mommy.
I mean, you do got to protect your mom.
From grandma?
Grandma sounds like a psycho, so yes.
Okay. Deputies say Adams took off in her vehicle and returned to Jacksonville, where she has been staying with a friend. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office found Adams inside her friend's home and took her into custody at that point. Neither the victim nor her children were injured during the incident. Adams has been charged with attempted second-degree murder. It's unclear why Adams allegedly went into her estranged daughter's home and attacked her.
Wow, I think that little girl deserves like a Medal of Honor or something. Give that kid a Purple Heart.
She's a decorated vet at the age of 8.
She's been through war.
She's a soldier of fortune. She's going to list herself in Soldier of Fortune magazine now as a bounty hunter.
I'd hire her. My personal bodyguard. Yeah, she's little, but packs the punch.
Well, speaking of brave teens and brave kids, are you ready for another one? And this time again in Florida. It seems to be the theme of the beginning of our program. A Florida man is arrested and accused of attacking a teen who was fishing in his backyard.
Oh, no. I hate it when people do this. Let the kids fish. Come on.
Right. I mean, how much harm can you really be doing? But this time we go to Palm Bay, Florida, where a Florida man, angry that a teenager was fishing in a pond near his home, allegedly grabbed the boy around his neck and hit his knee, causing the teen to fall to the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did his 8-year-old sister come over and defend him?
Yes, then the 8-year-old came over and stabbed the guy a bunch of times, and then he ran off. So, yeah.
That's crazy. What does he care? That's like my favorite thing to see. We have all these little ponds in our neighborhood, and the neighborhood kids like carry their little fishing poles and tackle boxes, and they ride their bikes over. And I'm like, I feel like I live in Mayberry. Like, it's so sweet.
Yeah, yeah. We have one kid here in our neighborhood who has a mini bike, and when I was a kid, my buddy and I, we went halvesies on a mini bike. We used to ride up and down the trail in back of our houses. So I talk to the kid every once in a while, and I'm talk to him about his mini bike, and I'm like, I had one of those when I was a kid, and he goes, "Really? Was it powered by gerbils? Because you're like an old man." And I'm kidding.
He said that?
No, I'm joking. He didn't say that.
Like, get that kid on the show. He's funny.
I know, he's pretty funny. No, but we talk about mini bikes because, Yeah. But the one he has is like really super cool. I mean, it's souped up and everything. It's got a much bigger engine than the one I had. But yeah, it's really cool. But yeah.
It's fun to see kids having fun. I can't imagine that making me angry.
No. I mean,
so weird.
Yeah, but it's really cool to watch this kid. I mean, and he and his brothers go up and down the street in this mini bike. I just think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like overly egregiously loud or anything like that, but it's cool to see him ride by and stuff like that. And then his older brother plays football for the local high school, so he's come by on occasion for fundraisers and stuff like that. So I joked earlier on the show with Tod Goldberg, our guest, about, he talks about being he and his wife being the neighbors in the neighborhood who don't have any kids. So how, like when the kids chuck the ball in your yard, you kind of wish you could go out and play catch with them, and maybe they'll play catch with me and stuff like that. And then you got to remember not to be the weird one in the neighborhood. Stuff like that. But then I told him, well, in order to not be the weird one, Todd, you got to kind of do things like he gives away full-size candy bars at Halloween. That's how he's not the weird one in the neighborhood.
Oh,
right?
That everybody loves him then.
See, everybody loves him. I said, well, the other way is to make sure you always contribute to the school fundraisers. So, when they come around to your door, that's the other way you're not the weird one.
I feel like as long as when you go over to play catch with them, you're not just wearing a trench coat with nothing underneath, you're probably not that weird.
Yeah, well, that's one way to prove you're not weird. Yeah, and, when you go to sip coffee on your porch, you make sure you're fully clothed. That's a good way to...
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's little things like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to prove you're not bizarre, Jess. Oh, my God. Yeah. Make sure you're fully clothed at all times.
My bar is set really low.
Yeah. Make sure you're not on the offender registry list. I'm sure the neighbors appreciate that one. Yeah. Good God. Back to our story of the man who did the innocent thing of just hitting and choking the kid when he went to go fishing.
Psycho.
At least he didn't rape him. That's setting the bar pretty high.
Yeah, well, at least that.
There's that. The alleged incident happened around 6 p.m. on November 24th in the area of Brookside at Bayside Lakes in Palm Bay. The 15-year-old told police in Fox 35 he was fishing with friends, an activity that he loves to do. Again, one of those innocent little things. You just go out, fish in the pond, no big deal.
So sweet.
Right? Yeah. While fishing, a man later identified as 46-year-old Wesley Boyd, again, old enough to know better and just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Right? Allegedly came out of his home nearby and told the boy to leave. As the boy was walking away, Boyd allegedly grabbed the boy around his neck, hit his knee, and then tossed his fishing pole into the water.
Oh, man.
Again, why? Several other kids witnessed the incident and told the officer a similar account of what happened. Boyd told the officers the boy was fishing behind his home. He said after he told the boy to leave, the kid walked a few feet down and recast a fishing line, the report said. Well, then he's out of your yard.
Right.
Right? Who cares? He's fishing. He's not destroying anything. Right?
No, he could be doing a lot of worse things.
Right. Boyd admitted to the officer that he reached behind the kid, grabbed his fishing pole, and threw it into the water. He said the kid slipped and fell, is how he got injured.
Of course.
Jesus. The police department said it determined that Boyd was the primary aggressor. He was arrested and booked into jail on one count of child abuse without violence. Police also determined that the boy was not on the man's property. So
he wasn't even on his property. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, some people, let's face it, some people are just dicks. That's how it is.
That's true.
Yeah. And
You can't make sense of it because it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense at all. I love letting the neighbor kids run around on our yard because they have this small little front plot of land on, as far as their yard goes. And we have this big front yard, and it doesn't make sense that we have this big front yard and we don't use it. So, we make sure we keep it nice and mowed down, and we're like, hey, they want to run around on our front yard. We don't care. Just let them be free, run, play.
Exactly.
Have a fun time. So, they try to be respectful, and they're like, oh, no, we're sorry. Sorry about what? Run around, have a fun time. Doesn't matter to us. So.
Yeah, well, because you're not a psycho. And clearly this guy in the story has some serious problems.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm going to show you a picture here of this guy, right? Average looking Joe. He's out there sighting in his rifle, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Got his little shooting earmuffs on.
Shooting muffs. Just shooting muffs. That doesn't sound right either, I know. But he's out at the gun range, like most Americans who have maybe a hunting rifle or whatever it is. A man is arrested in the UK, Jess, for posing with a gun more than 4,000 miles away in the U.S.
Huh.
Interesting little story here.
Oh.
A Yorkshire man was arrested over a photo he posted on social media featuring him holding a legally owned gun in the U.S.
Because they can't have guns in where he's from?
That's right.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
John Richelieu Booth posted a photo of himself in August holding a gun on LinkedIn while he was on holiday in Florida. He said he held the firearm lawfully on private land and with full permission from its owner. The post did not contain any threatening language and described his work and what he had done that day, Richelieu Booth told the Yorkshire Post. Let's see. And then the story jumped around from there. But a police officer came round to his home and said someone had raised concern about the picture and he should be wary about what he posts. Police returned to his residence again around 10 p.m. on August 24th and arrested him. The bail document mentioned an allegation of possessing a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence, along with a separate claim of stalking. Now, this is just him saying, this is what I did today. I was playing around with a gun on this guy's, I got to shoot this weapon, right?
Yeah.
I'm in America. Okay. Richelieu Booth said he tried to show police geolocation evidence proving the photo was taken abroad, only to be told it was not needed. He slept in the prison cell overnight and was then interrogated over the picture and another photo of a house he shared on social media, which he told police he had never been to and was taken by someone else. He was released on bail until the end of October. Officers visited him on 3 separate occasions and interviewed his neighbors. The allegations about stalking and illegal possession of a firearm were dropped, but he was then charged with public order offense for a different social media post. Richelieu Booth was due to appear at Bradford Magistrate Court on Tuesday, where he could have been jailed up to 6 months. But the case was dropped as, according to the Yorkshire Post, there was not enough evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction. John Richelieu Booth said he was shocked by the Orwellian behavior of the West Yorkshire police. He said, "I have not been able to sleep. I have lived in fear of a knock at my door for the last 3 months. I haven't spoken to my neighbors for 4 months. It has damaged my ability to run my business. It was a massive overreach by the police. I thought 1984 was a book, not an instruction manual." A West Yorkshire police spokesperson said police received a complaint of stalking involving serious alarm or distress relating partly to social media posts, several of which included pictures of a male posing with a variety of firearms, which the complainant took to be a threat. Police investigated and charged a man with a public order offense, but the case was then discontinued by the CPS. So, not that I'm going to stand on a soapbox or anything, But I'm just telling you guys, before you start screaming about they're coming to take my firearms, just remember, it is worse in other countries.
Oh, yeah. We are lucky, and we lose sight of that a lot in a lot of ways, not just about our ability to own firearms, but a lot of things.
It is.
Yeah, can you imagine just a picture creating this kind of chaos in your life?
A picture you took in a different country.
That's scary.
Yeah. And he was put in jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like my brain can barely wrap around that because I'm from America and that can't happen, right?
Well, you'd think.
I would hope not.
Yeah. All right. Next story. A man accused in, I believe it is Puyallup, Winco. We're going to Washington. I think it's Puyallup. I don't know. People in Washington will correct me, I'm sure. In a stabbing is to remain jailed with $75,000 bail set by the court. We'll tell you the unusual story behind this. The man is accused of stabbing a Puyallup Winco Foods grocery store employee during a robbery, then leading deputies on a chase before crashing into a van, and will stay in jail for now. Como News cameras were at Joshua Meneer's first court appearance on Tuesday, where the stabbing victim said Meneer's actions were reckless and urged the Pierce County Superior Court Commissioner to keep him locked up. The commissioner ruled Meneer is being held on $75,000 bail. The victim is a Winco Foods loss prevention officer who repeatedly tried stopping Meneer from stealing and was then stabbed and cut with a box cutter. In the courtroom, Meneer appeared emotionless, as he was brought in by wheelchair, and he faced assault, robbery, and eluding charges. His attorney asked that he be released without bail because he cannot afford to pay any amount. The scenes of chaos across Puyallup, I believe it's Puyallup. I don't know how you pronounce this, Jess. Started Sunday with a reported theft and all the stabbing of the loss prevention officer. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto explains, and this is the weird part of the story now, explains that this video shows their suspect leaving that endeavor in broad daylight and into the passenger seat of a U-Haul truck that took off. At one point, authorities say that Meneer kicked out the female driver and took over, leading deputies on a chase before crashing head-on into a van and landing him in cuffs. Days later, the stabbing victim, Damon McDaniel, told the court that he's lucky to be alive. I would like this court to recognize that Mr. Meneer has a blatant disregard for human life and the law. If he had anything other than a box cutter, I wouldn't be here today, McDaniel said. His reckless homicidal behavior has no place in our community, and I'm requesting that he be held without bail and he be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Witnesses did report that there were 4 distinct stabbing motions that were seen and witnessed. Therefore, the state has great community safety concerns, the attorney for the state added. Court Commissioner Barbara McAnavale noted concern over Meneer's criminal history, including charges for assault, harassment, and domestic violence. The disregard for law for public safety is very large and very concerning to the court, McAnavale stated. The loss prevention officer was wearing a protective vest that prevented any deep cuts, and he's expected to be okay. Now, according to the sheriff's office, the people involved in the crash did not report serious injuries. They're saying that the protective vest and the box cutter saved his life.
Wow. Thank God.
Yeah. Unusual. But even more unusual, this guy went nuts, crashed this van, and is in a wheelchair now. But yeah, I just find it amazing that this guy had a vest on. And if it weren't for the fact that this guy used a box cutter and that this guy had a protective vest on, that he would be dead to this day.
Yeah, this would be a very different outcome.
Yeah.
That's a wild story.
Yeah. Very unusual. Even more unusual, Jess. I don't know about you, but all guys have like a certain place, like a certain restaurant they like to take their ladies to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the go-to place if they want to impress a woman.
Okay.
Okay. Here in
McDonald's. Every boy is always taking me to McDonald's. They're really trying to
What?
impress me, right? I'm kidding.
McDonald's? What kind?
It's fancy.
The hubby takes you to McDonald's?
That's how he got me. Took me to McDonald's.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
I was going to say, you better be kidding. Boy,
I mean, I'm sure we did go to McDonald's. We grew up in a small town, but
what's the fanciest place he's ever taken you to?
well, we've gone places that were fancy with like the steaks you can barely afford, but not very often. We're simple people. It's really whatever the kids pick, which is usually Chick-fil-A or Chipotle.
Are you a big fan of the Texas Roadhouse?
Oh yeah, we do like Texas Roadhouse. It's good.
See?
Is that where you're going to take the girls if you're going to impress them?
See, that might be a good go-to spot, right? The Texas Roadhouse. It's not too fancy, but it's a nice casual place, right?
It's nice. You can pretend it's your birthday and they can ride on a saddle. That's cool.
I did that to my old man. I did. Maybe that's why he got the shitty cake for Drew's birthday.
Payback.
See, I made him ride on the saddle with all his busted up bones and everything, and he probably hated it a couple of years ago. So he got us back with a shitty cake.
Yeah, and the blue frosting.
To make us look like we blew Smurfs. So I have a feeling it's payback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I have another move here. I'm just saying. He brings us a shitty cake. I go get a machete. Because that's what this one woman did after dinner at the Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, no. She wasn't even happy after all of that wonderful bread. Bread is amazing.
You would think, after that bread and butter, the bread and butter and the steaks and everything, you just want to go take a nap.
Right? I'd be like, even if I hated the guy before and I was thinking about using a machete on him after the bread and the butter, and I'd be like, nah, he's all right.
Now, I'm going to show you her mugshot. Her mugshot even looks like she needs a nap. Look at that.
Oh, gosh.
Doesn't she look
like she's half asleep?
Yeah, doesn't it look like she's going to go night-night?
What kind of a scowl is that? It's
I don't
crazy.
know. It's kind of I need a nappy scowl, right? It's not even a full angry scowl. It's like
but her lip is like pulled up on one side a little bit.
She's like, the ambience kicking in. Right.
This half of my face is asleep and this half is still awake.
Right, yeah. You're going to pay. A woman sliced her boyfriend with a machete after a fight at the Texas Roadhouse, police say. Were the ribs not done to her pleasure? Is that the deal?
I just can't wrap my brain around it.
A Florida woman, here's a shock, was charged with attempted murder after police said she attacked her boyfriend with a machete during a fight over cell phone videos.
Oh,
I'm sorry, photos, not videos, photos. There's no video, evidently. I might have taken it a step too far. 49-year-old Liz Freschel was arrested on Friday and booked into the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, where she is being held without bond. According to an arrest report reviewed by Law and Crime, Freschel and her boyfriend were having dinner at a Texas Roadhouse restaurant in Miami on Thursday night when he reportedly saw photos on her phone of her hugging another man and holding hands with him.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Evidently, she'll be getting a salad.
No steak for you.
No.
That's why she's mad.
Yeah. He stormed out of the restaurant, leaving Freschel by herself. Then police said he returned to her apartment to give her back some of her belongings. Oh, so she didn't get dinner at all.
Oh, it's all making sense now. She's hangry.
She's hangry, yeah. According to the arrest report, the boyfriend meant to leave Freschel's items on an air conditioning unit outside the apartment and then go home. However, he realized he had left his car keys with the items, so he had to go back. Oh, bad move, dude. Yeah.
Just go get new ones. Just leave them.
Yep. Freshel had already picked up her items and brought them inside. And when he tried to enter the apartment, she tried to shut the door on him. The boyfriend eventually made entry and spotted his keys on her bed. Police said that once he was in Freshel's bedroom, she locked him inside the bedroom against his will.
Oh, no.
Yep. She then allegedly told him, "You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. You're going to pay."
Scary.
That was your first mistake, dude. Yeah.
Just get a different car. Just let her have it.
Yeah. You probably should have sent someone else in to get your stuff.
Yeah.
Freshel then went into her closet and pulled out a machete because now you've become the steak of choice to carve.
Oh my God. And who just has a machete in their closet? Like only in Florida.
Evidently a 49-year-old woman who won't be scorned. That's who. The arrest report stated that the boyfriend attempted to grab his keys and make a run for it, but Freshel allegedly swiped the machete at him, slicing his right elbow when she shouted, "I'm going to kill you, you son of a bitch."
Oh my God.
Fearing for his life, the boyfriend escaped the apartment and ran back to his car. He drove himself to the hospital where he was treated for a deep laceration to his elbow.
He is lucky that's all that he had, I think. She meant it.
Yeah, he could have drove with his head in his lap, I'm sure, at any particular time. Police spoke to another resident of the apartment complex where Freshel lived, who said she heard a female yelling, items being thrown, and later heard a male crying before seeing a man run out of Freshel's apartment. I'm sure he was crying. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. According to the report, police attempted to make contact with Freshel while they were at the apartment, but were unsuccessful. Officers went back to Freshel's apartment on Friday to execute a search warrant. Freshel was arrested, and police said she refused to provide a statement after being read her rights. She was charged with attempted second-degree murder, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and false imprisonment. Her next court date is scheduled for this week. You know, what probably would have been best, I'm thinking here, Jess, he sees the pictures, lets her order dinner, right? Have a nice dinner, just drop her off at the apartment. And then the next day go back and get the stuff. Or give her back her stuff, right?
Yeah, pretend like everything's fine. Go in, sneak your stuff out one thing at a time.
Yeah. Just be like, you know what, babe, I'm tired. I'm just gonna.
Hey, cool.
I'm gonna call it a night, right? And just not let on that there's something wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go out for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, right. There you go.
It worked for fathers in the 80s all the time.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. See the old I'm going out for some milk and you never come back.
Yeah.
Right. Why you gotta be all like that, right?
Oh, sounds very dramatic.
It does. It does indeed. Otherwise, you end up getting the machete upside the head.
I mean, especially if you know she has a machete in her closet. That's sign number one.
Right. Yeah, if you know she's swinging a Danny Trejo in the closet over there, you don't want to.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I saw a news story on Danny Trejo this past week.
You did?
Yeah. He on Thanksgiving he goes to missions and he feeds the poor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he's like in his early 80s now.
No way.
Yeah, and he just had a knee replacement. So, yeah. So he's out there feeding the poor on Thanksgiving. So
that makes me feel old.
Yeah, right. I met him a couple of years ago, and I got my picture with him. And I love Danny Trejo. I think he's just the greatest. And so I got my picture with him, got to meet him, and talk to him for a brief moment. I've always wanted to go to Trejo's Tacos and just try one of those amazing tacos. I keep hearing great things from my friends in California about it. And but he does amazing work, does amazing humanitarian work. So, yeah.
Well, it's funny because he's always like kind of plays the bad guy, right? Like he's the consummate bad guy, but yet in real life, he's like this really great person.
Yeah. Until the Machete movies. Then he was the good guy. Then he was the mercenary.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to continue our food theme here, Jess, for the next couple of stories. Our next story is about the beef jerky bandit.
Beef jerky bandit.
Yes, the beef jerky bandit, who ended up getting bagged by police at the Circle K after being arrested for breaking into a Circle K store at 2:15 a.m. on November 24th and stealing a bag of beef jerky. An Illinois man told police, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but there's an AI intelligence speaker in my neck.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Well, now you know you got him on the ropes. Right?
Yeah.
Police charged 33-year-old Cole Biddle after he kicked in the front glass door of the inconvenience store in St. Charles. It's inconvenient because it's not open for him to steal the beef jerky.
Exactly. Right.
Of the
bar closed. He's hungry.
That's right. Of the convenience store in St. Charles, Missouri, and then climbed into the lock business and proceeded to eat a bag of beef jerky and drink a sweet tea that he didn't pay for.
Oh, I mean, that sounds really good. If I was having a mental breakdown and I thought an AI robot was in my neck, I would go for the exact same little treat.
Well, now, in all fairness, it was just an intelligent speaker. It was just talking.
Okay.
It was
not
talking.
a full robot.
No, just a speaker. It was talking through him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When cops arrived at the Circle K, Biddle was detained and asked about the break-in. Biddle reportedly confessed, saying that the voices in my head told me to kick it open since it was locked, and that he just wanted to use the bathroom.
Mm.
Yeah, innocently enough. Biddle also made his artificial intelligence claim, but it is unclear what role the purported implant played in the alleged burglary. Biddle, whose residence is about 40 miles from the Missouri store, added that he had walked to the Circle K from Illinois.
What?
Yeah, a little bit of a hike. St. Charles is from Illinois. Biddle was arrested for burglary, a felony, property damage, a second-degree misdemeanor. He was also charged with stealing property valued at less than $150. He was locked up in lieu of $2,500 cash. Biddle has been ordered to have no contact with the Circle K, especially blowing out its windows, and submit to a mental health examination if he bonds out of custody. Until his parole earlier this year, Biddle was locked up in an Illinois state prison for aggravated robbery, for which he was sentenced to 9 years. His rap sheet also includes multiple felony burglary convictions, of which we don't know if the speaker in his neck told him to do that as well. We'll find out, I guess.
Oh, kind of sad. This is a cry for help.
Although I will ask you, Jess, here's his mugshot. Do you see a speaker in his neck at all?
No. He does have a very thick, muscular neck, so it could be hiding in there somewhere.
It could be behind the beard.
Could be.
Yeah. We don't know for sure.
I would hide a chicken leg behind that beard and eat it later.
Is that what you do with a big, thick beard?
I would hide things in it, and it would be glittery. But that's just me.
You'd put glitter in the beard as well?
Yeah. Yep. Glitter oil.
Glitter oil, and then you'd hide a chicken leg in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That may be why God didn't give you a big beard.
No, he just gives me one little hair that grows out of my neck. Like, can't do anything with that.
Well, that's the starter kit. So you've got to manifest it from there.
So maybe when I'm 80, I can have a full blown beard. I can be the bearded lady.
That's right. Yep.
All right.
And you can hang out at the circus, and you can have a big chicken leg in your beard, and
there's hope for me yet.
Then you could pull it out and go, ta-da! That's your big trick. And the little kids would be like, she pulled a chicken leg out of her beard.
That's right.
I don't know why
delighted.
I don't know why they speak like that, but they do. She pulled a chicken leg out of her beard.
And they're just all a bunch of Hanky the Christmas poos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she pulled a chicken leg out of her beard. It'll be quite fun. I know what you're going to have to drink with that chicken leg.
Beer?
Well, okay. Yeah. Boy, you're really going lowbrow today. You get taken out to McDonald's for dates. You want a chicken leg in your beer in your beard, and you want to drink beer with it.
I'm just a low class, easy lady.
I guess you're just a simple gal, ain't you?
I am.
Wow. Here I'm trying to go highbrow with you here. Take you to Texas Roadhouse, let you swing an expensive machete, and I'm trying to set you up for this next story, but you're like,
all I want is a chicken value meal from McDonald's.
I guess, right? Huh.
And a beer.
And a beer. Here I'm trying to set you up for this expensive wine in this story, but I guess not.
Oh, does it come in a box? That's my favorite kind.
Does it come in a box? That was very what's her name? The actress from American Pie.
Oh.
You're like, does it come in a box? Jennifer, what's her name? I forget.
Oh, I can't think of it. I can see her face.
Does it come in a box? Have you heard the story from Virginia this past week about this expensive wine that got ripped off from the restaurant / winery?
No, but I have to wonder where my mom was when this was happening, because she would totally do something like that.
She might have been an accomplice. I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's hear it.
You might want to check her bags. A thief escapes with a restaurant's rarest wines, but the female accomplice that was involved, which can't be your mom evidently, was captured and is now facing charges in Virginia. This is an interesting story. And in fact, the news this last week had video from this story. And it was very, very interesting. A Virginia restaurant is reeling after thieves took a tour of the wine cellar and stole 6 bottles of one of the world's most rare and expensive wines. The incident at L'Auberge Provençale in Clark County unfolded November 19th at a quiet time when the first table had just sat down. Sommelier Christian Borrell says, per the Winchester Star, a man and woman posing as representatives for a picky Canadian wine collector asked to see the wine cellar, which houses more than 350 selections, including the ultra-rare Domaine de la Romanée Conti, which Borrell describes as wine for those with the top 0.01% of wealth, not the 1%ers. So you have to be top of the top in order to be able to afford this wine.
So like a billionaire.
Pretty much. When I tell you how much the wine is, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, okay. Once inside, the woman kept the sommelier distracted with questions about local wines, while her accomplice slipped the expensive bottles into what appeared to be a specially tailored coat, substituting them with pretty poor replicas, the sommelier said. The pair then abruptly left the cellar, raising suspicions. Staff quickly discovered the theft and pursued the suspects to their car parked down the road. Now, Sorrell says he was holding onto the vehicle as the man tried to drive away. He ultimately escaped with 6 bottles, valued at around $42,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the math in my head, but I can't.
$7,000 a piece, my friend. $7,000 a piece.
What?
Yeah. But not before the woman, who's a UK citizen named Natalie Ray, she's 56 years old, was pulled from the vehicle. So they got one of them.
He drove off and they pulled her out and he just drove away.
He drove away because he's got the bounty.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that was a bad date.
That was a bad date. She's facing charges, including grand larceny and defrauding an inn. The 6 stolen bottles, including one valued at $24,000, one bottle alone, $24,000.
I couldn't even drink that. It's just going to turn into pee. It's so wasted.
They're considered irreplaceable, with only 3 others shipped to Virginia restaurants this year. So only 3 of those bottles were shipped to Virginia restaurants this year. Keep that in mind. Okay. While insurance may cover some of the loss, the sommelier says there's little hope of recovering the wine, which may already be on the black market. The search for the male suspect, seen wearing a bushy toupee, is ongoing. $42,000 worth of wine, Jeff.
That is insane to me.
Isn't it, though?
I mean, I just feel bad even when I go out to restaurants with my friends and they want to get like the expensive French wine and it's like $70 for a bottle. And I'm like, this is so fancy. Like, we're just drinking it. Like, why does it have to be so 20? You said one was $24,000?
One bottle, $24,000. Only 3 bottles were shipped to Virginia restaurants.
How? What justifies it being that expensive? Like, is it ancient? Is it a relic? Like,
it's not. I don't think it's that. I think it's the rarity of the grape, the amount that was actually made.
Queen of England stomped the grapes and made them into wine. Like, I don't understand how it could be that expensive.
I don't know. There's something to it.
Wild.
Yeah. $24,000. Yeah. It could be the region it came from. The fact that the grapes may be a limited season.
I wonder if it tastes as good as it should, like being that expensive.
Oh, it has to. It has to. But again, if it's a limited run, right? I mean, you only crack that bottle if you've got that kind of money, right?
Right.
That's a lot of money for a little bit of pleasure.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And if you have that kind of money, let's be friends.
Yeah, right? Hey, come on aboard. We can hang.
Oh.
All right. I have a couple of stories here. Believe it or not. Okay, so we just got done with Thanksgiving. Now, here's my aversion to not wanting to start the Christmas season too soon. Like when Halloween, the minute Halloween wasn't even over this year, Jess. Like it was Halloween. It was the day of Halloween. It was October 31st. It was noon. And I went into Target and they were already flipping the Halloween stuff and Christmas stuff was on the floor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go up and I wanted to punch a stock guy who was flipping stuff to Christmas stuff. Is that unusual that I had that much anger over this?
I mean, considering the stock guy is probably like a 16-year-old kid with acne and you just want to beat the crap out of him.
He was middle-aged and he was...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
that might be arguably worse.
But I wanted to punch him. I was, you know what? Let me have my turkey first. Let me have turkey.
He's just doing his job. He doesn't get to decide.
Oh, I know. I know he had nothing to. I mean,
you got to go to Target corporate and punch someone there.
I know. I should have punched out all of corporate. But it's just, come on.
I know. It is crazy. And people put their lights up so early this year.
They did.
And our neighborhood has, like, a lot of people got those lights installed that are on their house all year round.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. They have them on. They have them on all the time. I'm like, it doesn't even feel special when it's Christmas because everybody has these stupid lights on all the time and they're flashing all these different colors. It's like a disco in my neighborhood. It's so stupid.
Not disco.
I hate it. And we just like hang our little lights ourselves. My husband has gotten them straight this year, so we're up in our game a little bit. But, I mean, who needs lights on their house all year round?
No,
it just takes away from the specialness of the holiday.
That's right. That's right. And there's a reason it's a holiday and it's special. You know, you celebrate it for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of year, and you're done with it.
Exactly.
Right. Then we move on.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let's just go punch everyone out.
That's right. Let's punch everyone out. That's right. We'll get our aggression out. We'll be done with it.
Next show coming to you from a prison cell somewhere.
That's right. We'll be the dumb criminals, stupid criminals committing dumb crimes.
That's very meta.
It is, isn't it? It really is. Well, one such homeowner evidently had a problem with the fact that someone wanted to start a little early. Unfortunately, they had good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
There were some young carolers out there singing songs. They're out there, wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And this guy said, the F you will, clack, clack.
No.
A homeowner pulled a gun on some young carolers in Annapolis, Maryland.
Well, they were caroling already?
Already.
I mean,
this was in
it's not okay, but I get it.
This was in November, Jess. They were, they didn't even let the calendar go to December. And they were
oh
like,
my goodness.
They're like, let's get out there and practice. And this guy was like, clack, clack. I don't think you're going to. No, let's let December 1 hit before we.
That'll definitely teach him.
Yeah. A man in Annapolis, Maryland faces assault charges as a result of not having very much patience. A Maryland man is facing charges over his allegedly jaw-dropping reaction to young Christmas carolers. Police say he brandished a gun at 3 12-year-old girls who were singing outside his home. Maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe just, how about we take it down a notch?
12?
Yes, they were 12, and they were just trying to practice. I'd say, maybe we take it down a bit. Authorities in Anne Arundel County say that 58-year-old Paul Susie, yes, he has the last name of a cute little old lady, but his actions weren't cute, were arrested in Annapolis after the girls knocked on his door twice and announced they were caroling. That was their first mistake. They knocked twice. They were over enthusiastic about it. Police say Susie appeared at a bay window and pointed a firearm at the girls, who quickly fled, as they should. The mother of one of the girls then called police. Officers who responded say Susie and his wife were watching television when the girls knocked, and they described him as intoxicated and belligerent during the arrest, according to court documents cited by WUSA and WJZ. He reportedly admitted to pulling the gun on the children. Susie is charged with first and second degree assault. It's an assault because pointing a handgun at an individual is a threat of violence against that individual, a threat to their safety, said County Police spokesperson Mark Lemansky. Susie was released on a $10,000 unsecured bond and is due back in court here in December, where the judge can sing him Christmas carols because it's finally December, and he'll finally accept it. So there you go.
Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. It's acceptable. If you think that's bad, I want the answer to this question. A man was accused of breaking into an apartment and unwrapping a family's Christmas gifts. The only problem? He broke in on November 25th.
Oh. They already had their Christmas gifts out?
Yeah. He broke in.
Wow.
He broke in before Thanksgiving.
Who's that organized that they have their Christmas shopping done and wrapped?
Right. Do you kind of have it coming if you have your Christmas gifts wrapped before Thanksgiving?
I mean, maybe a little.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, a little.
We go to Bangor, Maine, where a man in Maine is accused of breaking into a family's apartment and opening all their Christmas presents. 50-year-old Jose Harvey was arrested Sunday after a Bangor resident called and reported that a man had broken into their apartment, was sleeping on their couch, and refused to leave. Well, he was comfortable. The tenant told authorities that they also discovered their bathroom window had been opened and all their Christmas presents had been unwrapped. In all fairness, I'd do that too if I saw all your presents were wrapped and ready to go before December 1st.
Yeah, curiosity.
Yeah.
Just like,
I just
need
think
to know what's in here.
I think it would be a crime.
So early. Yeah.
I'd unwrap them all. The tenant told authorities that I told you that already. Authorities said Harvey could not provide a logical reason why he was in the apartment. He was charged with aggravated criminal trespassing. Why not? if I saw your presents there before December 1st, I'd unwrap them all too. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. All right. Our next Christmas-related dumb crime from a stupid criminal. Cops hunt a Grinch thief that stole an 8-foot Christmas nutcracker statue from outside a Scotland bar.
You can't do that very sneakily.
No, not at all. The giant festive ornament was pinched from outside a popular cocktail bar on Tuesday afternoon, and the general manager says the culprit is definitely on Santa's naughty list. The giant nutcracker statue is a giant festive ornament taken from outside Copper Blossom in Edinburgh at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, November 25th. Its owners say the crime has been recorded on CCTV and footage shared with Police Scotland to investigate. The Copper Blossom team is now calling for the festive statue named Nolan to be returned and reunited with his fellow nutcracker soldier Nelson. It's cute they have names, which together form part of the venue's seasonal display. Every Christmas, Copper Blossom's festive displays draw crowds of people looking to capture the perfect photos. Paul Paxton, general manager at Copper Blossom on George Street, said, "We put a lot of time, effort, and expense in our Christmas decorations at Copper Blossom to create a spectacular winter wonderland for all our guests." Are they sober enough to realize that they're out there? That's my question. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Probably not. Our Christmas nutcracker statues take pride of place as part of our seasonal celebration. So not only has someone stolen one of our favorite decorations, but they've also stolen the spirit of Christmas too. Hyperbole much? We're now calling on the culprit to return our Christmas nutcracker Nolan and restore our special touch of festive magic. Boy, they really get into it, don't they? If Nolan is returned in one piece, then no further action will be taken, but the culprit is definitely on Santa's naughty list. I'm sure they'll take that to hell with them.
This is like a Hallmark movie.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah. All we need is Santa to show up and save the day.
Oh.
Not much overreaction in that story at all. All right. And then our last Christmas-related story is probably the best one. I'm going to show you a picture here, Jess, of our offender. Speaking of people who probably put too much Christmas lights up. Look at that one.
Oh, I love it. His car is totally encased in lights.
Yeah, look at that, huh? Tell me that's not a moving hazard. I've always wanted to do this to my van, but I never have because I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think you'd get in trouble.
Yes, you would. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to this festive pickup, which was pulled off the road in Norfolk County. Kids, don't try this at home. 21-year-old driver was feeling festive, and now they're paying the price. Ontario Provincial Police in Canada said an officer spotted a vehicle decorated with colorful Christmas lights in Norfolk County on Saturday, but it wasn't just the holiday cheer that caught their attention. It was recorded traveling over 160 kilometers an hour on Brantford Road, more than double the posted speed limit, according to OPP. And that's not a naughty by nature thing, by the way. The driver was handed a 30-day license suspension and a 14-day impoundment of the pickup. Your choices behind the wheel matter, OPP's post concluded. Please slow down and drive responsibly and arrive alive. They didn't say anything about the lights. I don't know. But yeah, here in the States, you can get in big time trouble for wrapping Christmas lights around your vehicle.
Yeah, it's definitely not street legal.
Yeah.
And with a very distractible 15-year-old who is learning how to drive, that would definitely cause her to get in an accident.
I can just see it now.
She'd be so excited.
Look at that.
She'd drive right off the road.
I suppose anybody with just a tad of ADD would drive into stuff.
Yeah, she was looking at lights the other night, and she's like, "Oh, I love those lights." And all of a sudden, we were headed toward the ditch, and I'm like, "Oh, God." So if there was a truck encased in lights driving fast.
Oh, my gosh. That would be something.
There'd be no hope for us.
That would be too funny. And in the ultimate spirit of today's guest, which, by the way, I still have the book here. I want to show you real quick. Tod Goldberg's Only Way Out. We talk about grift, graft, and the other in a small town. Let me tell you about a small town in Germany in which this is the ultimate in civil corruption. A parking inspector is accused of stealing $1 million from meters. That's right, a meter reader is getting over on the town.
Uh-oh.
Accounts over hundreds of incidents. Yeah. A German parking inspector and his wife have been arrested after allegedly siphoning more than $1 million from a town's parking meters. Authorities say the 40-year-old municipal worker, whose names have not been released, repeatedly pocketed coins from the meters and funneled the cash to bank accounts accessible by his 38-year-old wife. Thomas Kletsch, I believe it's Kiekel, mayor of the town of Kempten, says he was stunned and dismayed to learn of years of suspected thefts. They first surfaced in a bank report that flagged multiple cash deposits as suspicious, prompting a police investigation. The man now faces charges related to 720 incidents of theft, while his wife is charged with aiding and abetting in all 720 cases, per the BBC. Yikes. $1 million off meters.
That's wild.
Isn't it?
That's a lot of coins.
Yeah, it is. Can you imagine trying to steal that much money and going ching, 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 ching as you're walking down the street?
And throw it in a pillowcase and drag it behind you.
Yeah. Is that Santa? Ching, 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 ching. All right, it's time now for our Not Safe for Work section of our program. It's short and sweet this week because evidently, with the Thanksgiving season, none of y'all wanted to get nude, lewd, and crude because your waistband was going to expand this week due to all that turkey. So I guess even criminals take the week off, Jess.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. Our first story. Oh, by the way, I've got to give you, you got to get the kids out of the room. You got to get the boss out of the room, even though it's a short segment. So we'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yes, even Florida needs to clean itself up every once in a while, Jess. So Operation Dirtbag went down this past week. Operation Dirtbag. That was an actual operation that was run by both federal and state authorities. I put Florida and authorities together and made a Florities.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? 150 sex offenders were arrested by Homeland Security in Florida, and they still didn't get them all.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't that kind of make you skeevy?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make your skin crawl? We go to Orlando, where the Department of Homeland Security announced the arrest of more than 150 sex offenders during a major enforcement operation in Florida. The operation carried out with state and local 287 law enforcement partners. So it took 287 law enforcement officials to only get 150 people, Jess. That's what we call efficiency, folks. Focused on apprehending child predators and violent criminals, leading to more than 230 arrests. Secretary Kristi Noem called it, she said, I call this Operation Dirtbag because these individuals were not just sex offenders, they targeted children. The operation focused on individuals with convictions for serious crimes, including sexual assault of minors, lewd and lascivious conduct, child exploitation, battery, and attempted homicide. So there you go. Partnership with Governor Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida was highlighted as a model for future operations across the country. So there's that story. All right. Also, this story is just bizarre, but I put it in Not Safe for Work because it's that bizarre. A man is arrested after setting a woman on fire for not getting him a beer. Yeah.
That's a little much.
Right. We go to Silva, North Carolina, where the Silva Police Department say they've arrested a man after he set a woman on fire for not getting him a beer. Police say they were dispatched to a domestic dispute at Chipper Curve Road. Officers responded immediately and began an investigation. This investigation revealed that Patrick Tyson and a female had a verbal altercation. Officers learned that Tyson had grabbed a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and poured it on the floor and couch where the female was sitting, and that he had set that alcohol on fire. Police say that according to the victim, Tyson stated that he would set her on fire if she didn't get him a beer, then ignited the couch, causing both the couch and her shirt to catch fire. Police say that the victim's shirt was burned off her body, but she did not sustain physical injuries, thank God. The home suffered smoke damage, burned carpet, and a charred couch. The stove was shattered after Tyson threw an item at it during the incident. The Silva Fire Department responded quickly and extinguished the flames. Tyson was arrested and charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon and intent to kill, felony first-degree arson, misdemeanor assault on a female, misdemeanor injury to personal property. Tyson was taken before a magistrate and then lodged in the Jackson County Jail under a $750,000 secured bond. His first court appearance was scheduled for Monday. I'll tell you this much, $750,000 is not hardly enough for that particular crime.
No, definitely not.
That's for sure. All right. With that, Jess, we come now to our palate cleanser. And I feel like we need one.
Yes, especially after that.
Yeah. And earlier we were talking about the 80s, right? And, you know, Thanksgiving, feeling like we needed to clean our plates. You remember I was talking about, do they know it's Christmas after all?
Yes.
Okay. That reminds me of, you know, different Christmas songs that are out there. And being that it's now December 2nd, there's a game we should be playing as of December 1st. Do you know what that game is?
No, what is it?
I'm going to challenge you to this game, my friend. It's called Whamageddon.
Whamageddon.
Mm-hmm. As a child of the 80s.
How do we play?
Well, it's very simple. You just have to stay out of the way of the song Last Christmas from now until, let me see, what is the date on this? Because you have to stay away from it from now until December 24th, midnight.
Impossible.
Uh-huh. Is it, though? The objective is to go as long as possible without hearing Wham's Christmas classic, Last Christmas. That's the first rule of Whamageddon. The second rule, and I challenge you to challenge all your friends to this, okay? The second rule of Whamageddon is that the game starts on December 1st, so it started as of yesterday. Have you heard Last Christmas?
Oh, yeah. I've already heard it multiple times.
You have already?
Yes. My daughter has been listening to Christmas music for weeks already.
Okay. So we'll start as of right now. So as of right now, as of this taping, okay, that we're sitting down, you're now challenged to Whamageddon. You have to stay away from Wham's Last Christmas. So tell your daughter, stop with the Wham.
She can't. We'll try. I'll try.
Okay.
If I hear it starting, does that count? Because then I can run or like turn it off.
Just
or
la, 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 and then put your hands over your ears and then run.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Second rule. Game starts on December 1st, ends at midnight, December 24th. The third rule, only the original version applies. So you can enjoy the F out of remixes and covers if somebody else is singing the song.
Okay.
Right? Somebody else is doing that version of Last Christmas. You can enjoy that song. So I don't know. Did Sinead O'Connor do a version of Last Christmas? I have no idea.
I don't think so.
But if somebody...
there are other versions. I can't think of them right now.
Okay. But somebody else did a version of Last Christmas. You can listen to it. But if you hear Wham's version, you're out. The fourth rule is you're out as soon as you recognize the song. You're done.
Oh.
You got to be careful.
This is going to be very hard at my house.
Yep. Bonus rule. Post on social media with the Whamageddon hashtag when you get hit. So once you've been hit, you got to post on your socials, Whamageddon.
Okay.
Just say, I've been hit. Right?
I will probably post that tonight.
And it says, pup, we can't stop you from deliberately sending your friends to Wham Holla. The intention is that this is a survival game, not a battle royal. So don't be a dick. Okay. So in other words, you can't send your friends the song in order to get them out of the game. It's not what this is about.
Okay. This has to happen naturally.
That's right. You just have to run into it. You just happen to hear it on the radio, or it just happens to be played on TV, or, it just happens to pop up in a YouTube list or wherever. It's a naturally occurring thing in the wild.
Yeah. In the wild.
Yeah. Whamageddon in the wild.
Wow. Okay. I'm in.
All right. You've been challenged to Whamageddon. And I challenge all of you out there to Whamageddon as well. Because I know a lot of you are either children of the 80s, know of Wham or George Michael. And you know what Last Christmas is. It's one of the last true Christmas songs out there.
It's a good one. I do love it. I'm going to miss it.
But it's only till the 24th, till midnight on the 24th. Then on the 25th, play the shit out of it. I don't care.
I don't know. It might be my favorite song. Feeling a little sad just thinking about this challenge. I feel a little tear coming.
Well, if you get knocked out, you just hashtag Whamageddon on your socials.
Okay.
You've been hit. Then
I
you
hate losing, but
Then you get.
What's the prize? Is there a prize? Just bragging rights.
Maybe we make up a shirt. I survived Whamageddon. I don't know. Maybe we do that.
Whamageddon winner.
Whamageddon winner. There you go. Whamageddon winner.
Mm.
There you go.
All right.
But it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of a fun little game.
It is.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Whamageddon. I thought it was kind of a fun little game. So that'll do it for today. Jess, what's new in your world? How are ticket sales going for the event?
They're going good. We just sold a few for our New Year's retreat or little event at the Palmer House that you're going to be at and I'm going to be at. It's going to be so fun.
Very cool.
So I would say if anybody wants to get tickets, if you're a listener of the show and you'd like to use a little discount code, you can use Friends20 to get $20 off your ticket.
Very nice. All right. So Friends 20, we'll post that in the description of this program. But join us up at the Palmer.
It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Most definitely. And if you're still practicing Whamageddon at that event, I can't stop you. That's right.
Uh-oh. And we might do some karaoke, so nobody can sing it.
That's right.
Does it count if you're singing it?
At that event?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's over then.
No, it's over then.
We can sing it all we want.
That's right. You can sing it all you want at there. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You're going to be so annoyed by the end of the weekend. I'm going to be singing it the whole time. I'm just going to carry a boombox on my shoulder with the Wham tape in there.
Yeah. You can't. No.
It doesn't count. I'm not Wham. It's not an original. This is a remake.
Oh, that's right. That's a remake by Jess.
See?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's right. Thank you for reminding me of the rules.
Oh, disaster averted.
Whew. All right. It's the original, right? It's the original Wham we have to worry about, not the Jessica Freeberg remix or cover.
Nope.
Yeah.
Thank God. At least I can still sing it.
Yeah, you can still sing it to yourself. Woo! All right. Yes. So we'll have a link up so you can book your tickets and come sing your version of Last Christmas to us. All right. Tomorrow on the big program, Supernatural News and Mally Fox. Wednesday, big surprise. We got a big surprise in store.
I love surprises.
There you go. That's what's going on here. I want to remind people here, I'm going to hold this book up one more time. Big time guest today. Big time guest. You know just this man right here wrote the Burn Notice series on USA. This guy right here.
Ooh.
This guy right here co-wrote a book with Brad Meltzer. This guy right here, best buds with Brad Meltzer. This guy right here.
Nice.
This guy right here, Gangsterland series. This guy right here, heavy hitter. This guy right here,
Just a rock star.
Tod Goldberg. This guy right here. This guy right here, new book, Only Way Out. We have a link in the description of the program. Love this guy right here, Tod Goldberg. Good book, great book, Only Way Out. Got to read it this past weekend. I encourage you to go get it. Link in the description of this program. And go check it out. I won't hold the fact that he's a Raiders fan against it. But, yeah. But go check that out. All right, folks. That'll do it for today. We will see you tomorrow for Supernatural News. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to listen and watch us here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.